So hello everyone, welcome to Sunya IAS. This is your ongoing lecture series on worksheet discussion for Prelims Crash Course 2023 focusing on modern Indian history. Now, in this lecture we are going to focus on the nationalist movement which was developed in India, started in India between 1905 and 1918. So right from Swadeshi movement, uh, right from Swadeshi movement to Surat split to Gadar party's action, okay, and Morley Minto reform, uh, Montford reform, Morley Minto or Morley Minto reforms, then Gadar party's actions, then other militant or nationalist, radical nationalist activities. All those things will be discussed in this lecture only, along with the actions of Annie Besant and the initial phase of Gandhi also. Okay, so let's start discussing the questions on these topics. Starting from the first one, consider the following statements regarding Annie Besant. She was the founder of Theosophical Society. No, she was not. The founder of Theosophical Society was Madame Blavatsky. Okay, and she founded the society in New York in 1875. She herself was a Russian immigrant. Annie Besant launched the All India Home Rule League in 1980. Okay, so this statement is also wrong. She founded the All India Home Rule League in 1916 and not 18. By 1917, she was already arrested, and after getting out of jail by 1918, she was already retired. She founded a Central Hindu School in Varanasi. Yeah, she was active in the path of education from the first decade of the 20th century itself, and you will see that the Central Hindu University, which later on evolved into the Banaras Hindu University, she was one of the founder of it. She started the Besant Theosophical College. That is also true. She started the Theosophical College. Later on, it was named after her only as Besant Theosophical College. And 3 and 4 both are correct. Okay, so B is the answer here. Consider the following statements regarding the Home Rule movement. Jawaharlal Nehru did not participate in the Home Rule movement due to differences with its objectives. Sir Subramania Iyer renounced his knighthood in protest against the suppression of movement. Now, Jawaharlal Nehru surely participated in the Home Rule movement, so this statement is wrong. And Sir S. Subramaniam Iyer, after Annie Besant was arrested in 1917, S. Subramaniam Iyer tried to get her out of jail. When he was not able to, he renounced his title of Sir, and other titles given to him by the Britishers also. So the second statement is right. The B option is correct. Okay, B option, the two only. Okay. Consider the following statement regarding the revolutionaries. The Anusilan Samiti was founded by Pramatha Mittar. Now, Pramatha Mittar obviously is not the name. That's wrong. Anusilan group was arrested and tried under the Lahore conspiracy case. Now, Anusilan group was active in Bengal, and Lahore conspiracy case was happening in Punjab. So that is it itself is impossible. The Anusilan group actually was involved in Alipur conspiracy case, not Lahore conspiracy case. So the second statement is wrong. The third statement, V.D. Savarkar was founded by Pramatha Mittar. Okay, the first statement is actually Pramatha Mittar. It's right. V.D. Savarkar started the Indian Home Rule Society in London. This statement is actually correct. Okay, he was someone who founded the Indian Home Rule Society in London, so that is correct. So D option is correct. No, not D option. Since it was assumed tried under Lahore Conspiracy, V.D. Savarkar started the Indian Home Rule. This third statement is right. Okay, so 1 and 3rd is right. That is the B answer. Okay. Consider the following statement regarding British policies towards India. Lord Curzon adopted a policy of patronage and intrusive surveillance. That is correct. Curzon, who came to India in 1899 and saw Bengal in form of the cradle of nationalism. Okay, cradle of nationalism. You will see that he adopted a policy of patronage and intrusive surveillance for sure. Curzon's approach, and for this purpose only, he, as per the recommendation of Fraser Commission, he formed CID, Crime Investigation Department, which was answerable on the state level. Okay. Curzon approach reduced all states to be uniformly dependent on the British government and became an integral part of Indian political system. That is also true. Curzon was someone who wanted to take the Indian states towards more unionist tendency, and increase the power of the Britishers. So second statement is correct. Post 1909, a policy of cordial cooperation was used to counter a large scale political unrest. This is also true. You will see in Morley Minto reform, the size of the legislative assembly was increased from 16 to 60, and all those members of moderate faction of Congress who were not protesting or not ready to participate in the Swadeshi and boycott movement were actually rewarded by the British government. At the same time, those who participated or supported the Swadeshi and boycott movement, their life was made very difficult. Okay. At the same time, those leadership of Muslim League uh, were also supported through separate electorates. So you will see that after 1909, you can see that all the three statements are correct because the policy of cordial cooperation was used by the Britishers. Okay, so pacification towards those who were moderate and being harsh towards those who were radical in nature. Okay, so D is the answer. It was a revolutionary group with its headquarters in San Francisco. By San Francisco only, I hope you will be able to understand it was Ghadar Party. For those who don't know, you always need to understand that on the west coast of America, in Canada, the city was Vancouver, and America, United States of America, the city was San Francisco. Okay, so that is something you need to understand. The Ghadar Party is the answer here. Consider the following statement regarding the All India Home Rule League. It became Swaraj Sabha in 1920. This is true that All India Home Rule League, after Annie Besant retired, okay, the leadership, it lacked the leadership, and that's where Gandhiji came to front. Gandhiji made sure that the volunteers of All India Home Rule Leagues joined him, and the new organization which was formed was called as Swaraj Sabha. Fine. This the movement started, it led to August Declaration. This is also correct that Home Rule League, actually the story went like this, that Miss Besant started the Home Rule League and she was arrested in 1917 because she was asking for home rule in India. It was against the First World War was going on, it was considered against the Defense of India Act, and she was arrested. When she was in jail, a question was raised in the British Parliament regarding it, that why a British citizen has been arrested in India. In response to it, the Secretary of State, Lord Montagu, went on to made the statement that Miss Besant was going beyond the terms defined in Defense of India Act, and she was then arrested. And when it was declared by him, then the next question was asked that if it's so, then could the government will please explain what were their stance on home rule demand in India. And then he went on to explain that their ultimate plan is to make a responsible government in India, and this responsible government term is famously called as, because it was done in the month of August, it is called as August Declaration. So the movement started by the All India Home Rule League led to August Declaration. This is right. Moderates and extremists were briefly united through this movement. Now, this is very interesting statement, and you need to understand this actually happened. A lot of people in Punjab who were from the extremist wing also joined hands with the Home Rule League. So this is also true. So D option is correct. All of them are correct. With reference to Indian freedom struggle, the Zimmerman plan. Zimmerman was actually the German Secretary of State, okay, during the First World War, who was working for Kaiser Wilhelm. Now, Zimmerman plan was about obtaining overseas Indian support in order to foment a revolt against the British government, a well thought out plan for enacting constitutional changes in the Central Executive Council, destroying all Indian presses which publish in English, supporting the Home Rule League in a shady way. All of them. This is a very interesting, as I just told you, Zimmerman was the Secretary of State in Germany, worked for Kaiser Wilhelm. The first statement is right. Okay. In the class, we have discussed in great detail about the so-called Hindu-German conspiracy. And please, if you haven't watched it, go and watch it and you will be explained it in great detail. Fine? Now, so yeah, that will be all for this lecture. Let's catch up in the next lecture, and that will be all for now. And in case if you have any query, question, difficulty, you can approach the team on this phone number. And otherwise, please go and make sure that you watch the lecture where The period between 1905 and 1918 have been discussed in great detail. Thank you and have a nice day.